Today we are making a DIY steam cap. This video is for those wanting to level up on their deep conditioning, yet don't want to waste money on expensive heat caps that will later have to be replaced. We are also going to discuss how to avoid making your cap too heavy for your head. And please know this microwavable steam cap is reusable. So stay to the end of this video because I'm going to show you exactly how to repair your cap if it ever gets damaged.
Now, this is the one that we're going to be working with today, but I want to warn you, when you do get your shower cap, you definitely want to make sure that the interior and the exterior can separate just like this. I'm going to do this shower cap by hand. You can definitely do it on a sewing machine if you prefer. So let's get to the table.
After gathering all your materials and cutting your cloth, we definitely want to start on our socks first. Now, please note at this point, we are not aiming for things to look perfect. This can be as messy as you want it, but after you thread your needle, we are going to start inserting the rice into our socks. Now, at this point, you want to take note of how much rice or flax seeds that you're using, because if you don't want your cap to be heavy, I suggest that you use less. Now, I like to divide my sock up into 4 different sections, right? And in each section, I only want to use 2.5 tablespoons of rice. Now, again, if you don't want your steam cap to be heavy, you want to use a little bit less. But let's move on into how we section off the sock. So you definitely want to start by laying the sock flat as if it was lying on your head and flattening out the rice. This is going to help you determine where to cut off your first section, and then we're going to sew the sock across inch by inch to prevent the rice grains from crossing sections. Okay, so now that we made it fully across, you definitely want to just pull your thread through and stretch out your sock because you don't want the thread to be tight. Just make sure those rice grains can't escape that section before you move on. You're going to lay your sock flat again to flatten out the rice to determine your next section. However, now we need to move our needle up the sock. And when we move our needle up, it doesn't need to be inch by inch, just like we did when we went across. All we need to do is just get the needle up there. So it doesn't matter how crazy like it looks, as long as it's loose. And then once you get your needle up there, repeat. Go inch by inch to cut off that next section. Now let's talk about how to close off the sock. Now, it's very important that you start to the side of the sock and not directly on top to avoid any like small gaps that we can miss, like just when sewing our socks together, because what we don't want is for the rice grains to escape the actual sock. Now, I do have to apologize because I'm not really like a part of the sewing community and I don't know what this method is called, but I'm going to explain it as best as I can. Now, in order to properly close the sock off, we're going to put the needle through the top of the sock, and then we're going to loop the thread over the needle. Insert the needle, loop the thread, pull the needle through. Insert the needle, loop the thread, and pull the needle through. Now, if you guys know what this method is called, please let me know in the comments below. But I can only describe it. I don't know the name for it, and I probably should have looked it up. But the top of your sock is going to look something like this. It's going to be a straight line going through the top of the sock. And you want to make sure when you tie your knot, you want to tie it on the side of the sock. And this is to prevent any small like gaps at the corners that we may miss. Now, after you finish all your socks, you definitely want to grab your base, and we're going to place the socks on the base as if it was a puzzle. You can use holding pins to hold down your socks while you sew them down to the base. However, they are not required. And again, I just want to remind you, it doesn't matter how messy this looks. Nobody's going to see your actual base. So you can sew as you please. And as you can see, I definitely don't have any shame in my game. I use old socks. Now you can use old socks, new socks, whatever you choose. Just make sure they clean, right? I don't have any shame in like reusing items that I'm not using around the house to save on a little money. So now that we got our base and we removed all of our pins, it is time to grab that shower cap. Now you definitely want to separate the interior from the exterior, and you do not want to puncture the exterior. But if you do, I'm going to show you at the end of this video how to repair that and how the base of the steam cap that you're creating right now is reusable if like your shower cap gets damaged. But let's continue. So now it's time to open up that shower cap, and I normally locate the tag and make a big enough hole to insert our base. Start with cutting the hole small, and then if you need more room, cut it just a little bit more. But what you don't want to do is cut a huge hole and you have a lot to sew back together. Now the back of your base is going to face the outer layer of the shower cap, and your socks is going to face the interior of the shower cap. Now for easy installment, roll your base up and then make adjustments and center your base once you're inside the shower cap. Now remember, the base is going to be facing the outer layer, and then all you have to do is sew the center of your base to the interior of the shower cap. Again, try your very best not to puncture the exterior of the shower cap, and I normally make my knot inside so that it looks clean, and then all that's left is to close up that hole. Now I will admit this is probably the only part of this project that I'm like super neat and I actually care about how this closure looks, right? So don't be like me. Use the same color thread as that matches your shower cap. I didn't. However, we're going to close up this hole just like we did the top of our socks, okay? You're going to start with the knot inside. The only thing that I do different is I fold the fabric inward so that it looks cleaner, so that you don't see the rough cuts. And there you have it, beautiful people. Even though I use a different color thread, you can barely see it. It still looks very, very neat to me, at least. You all let me know. Does it look neat to you in the comments below? Did I do a good job? All you have to do now is just flip your shower cap in the right way and give your cap a good shake. I want you guys to check the description box below so that you can see the heating directions for this shower cap. But really quick, if you accidentally puncture the exterior of the shower cap, all you have to do is sew that together before you close your hole or your closure. I don't know how to say it. I can just show you how it looks. So in full transparency, this was my first time doing a steam cap with rice, and it worked absolutely amazing as far as like keeping my head hot. So the question that I can't answer for you guys today is, how long does the rice in this steam cap last? But what I can tell you is that I had my homemade heat cap that I did with Flaxseeds for more than 3 years, and it is still running strong. I haven't replaced this Flaxseeds. However, I did replace the bonnet because it broke on me. So if you're interested on how to reuse your base, you definitely want to check out this video right here.